Okay, so to help you all figure out how to find your sources, I've recorded this video. I hope it doesn't run too long. First thing you'll do is go to the Philander homepage, which you can see here. Go to the drop-down menu at the top and click on Academics. When that drop-down menu, click on that and that'll bring the drop-down menu. You want to click on Library Services. Okay, let's try that one more time. You're going to click on Library Services. All right, that's going to bring up this tab here. So let's say your keyword or your topic is, you see I've been researching some other things, but we're going to look at opioid addiction as the topic. So I type that in and I click the search button. All right, so we got a little bit of lag time there. Sorry about that. All right, you're going to come here before you do anything else. Click on full text and it's going to update the material. Then you're going to also click on peer reviewed. Your sources are all going to be peer reviewed journal articles that you want to use for this research paper. So you might want to make sure you click that. The last thing that you are going to click is going to be here. You're going to change the publication date to 1988 and then hit enter. That is going to update the information and it's going to set the parameters for your research. Alright, so you don't want to find any research that is older than 31 years. Alright, so now we've got full text, peer reviewed, and our publication date is 1988 to 2019. Alright, so let's see, let's find a good source here. And I'm also going to show you how to begin your reference list. So, let's see. Okay, see this is in London, England, so that's not going to be a good source for us. Modeling health benefits and harms. Not so much. Not so much. Best practices and recommendations. Judicial and medical perspectives on cases involving addiction to opioids. Okay, let's click on that and see what this article includes. So I'm going to read the abstract here. Not so much. Alright, so I'm going to click the back key. And alright, let's click the next button because I decided that I don't want any of these particular ones. Okay. Here we go. Addressing the rural opioid addiction and overdose crisis through cross-sector collaboration. Little Falls, Minnesota. That sounds like it might be good. Here we go. Pharmacotherapy of opioid addiction, putting a real face on a false demon. Alright, so let's click that and see what that entails. Again, we do a quick perusal, or I'm doing a quick perusal of the abstract because I want to try and make sure this video isn't really long. Alright, so I decided that I do want to use this particular source. The first thing I'm going to do is go here to see, alright, there is a DOI. So I'm going to scroll back up and I'm going to click the full text finder. In your research, you need to be able to read all of your sources. So you've got to find the full text of the source. If the full text is not available, you will not be able to use that in your research paper. So you're going to click that, the full text finder again. Okay, so it cannot find it. Let's click on the database here. Wow, not so much. All right, let's go back here to publications. All right, so it's asking us to do a search again. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to our reference here, our source, and let's click and copy that DOI. Come back over here and type that DOI in. And let's do a search. See if we can find something. Okay. It can't interpret our search. I don't know exactly what that means, so we're going to go back. Let's try one more time to just make sure that that's the out. Yep. All right. So that is the information that we're getting. So obviously this is not a good source for us. All right, so we're going to click back. Oh, here we go. Chronic pain, chronic opioid addiction, a complex nexus. Okay, so let's click on that and see if this is going to be a good reference for us, a good source for us. Okay, it seems as if it is because they're talking about the increase in prescribing of opioids, which has been associated with the opioid addiction and overdose deaths. Okay, this seems like it's going to be a really good source. So, again, we're going to come back up here to the full text finder. Click here. Ah, this is a good source. Okay, it does say that it's only 5 pages long, so I want to scroll through and make sure that there's some information here. Okay, it goes all the way through to the references. There's a conclusion there. There's the introduction. They talk about chronic pain and opioid therapy. Okay, so it seems as if this is going to be a good article. It's from the Journal of Medical Toxicology, and it's from March 2016. All right, so I'm going to download this PDF. You want to download the PDF. If you're using your own laptop, that's perfect. You can do that, and you can save that to your desktop. If you are using one of the school's computers, you will need to copy these onto a thumb drive or email them to yourself, but you will need to make sure you get the full text, because you will need to read this source. That is why you need to make sure you can get the full text for that. Okay, then we're going to click back to where we found this source, and here is the shortcut for your reference list, guys. Click the Cite button. Here's the thing, this class is using the APA format for this research paper. So we're going to click on that. We're going to copy it. The next thing that we're going to do is bring up Microsoft Word. We need to have a new document for Microsoft Word. So this is the other thing that needs to be done in your class. Remember, I told you need to put the appropriate heading on your papers. It's going to consist of your first and last name, today's date, which is January the 25th, 2019. You'll need to put the heading, Advanced Comp, and the section number. Let's say this is for the online class, it's section number 01, and the assignment. In this case, this is your reference list. All right. The other thing is, I made sure that my layout, my margins, are 1 inch all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right. Then I want to make sure that I space down. Remember, I was here, double spaced, push the center key, and I'm going to push the bold key because my heading needs to be centered and bolded. And I'm going to type the word references. Do 2 more returns to double space. I'm going to put it back on left justification and turn off the bolding. Then I'm going to copy or paste that citation into the paper. See this clipboard there? I need to click Match Destination Formatting. All right. The next thing that I need to do is go up here and make my document all times. Well, I'm sorry. Click everything that you have in the paper, do a select all, make it times, and make that font size 12. Alright, so now my font size is correct and the font type is correct. The next thing that I need to do is fix this citation. APA guidelines say that the first line of your citation should be even with the left-hand margin. It is. But every line after that should be indented. To indent that, I put my cursor on the second line. Delete the extra space between the first line, the last letter of the previous line, so that these come together. Hit the return key and tab over. Same thing here. I'm going to put my cursor there on this line, delete that extra space, hit a return, and it automatically tabs over. I'm going to do the same thing here. Delete that extra space, return, and it automatically tabs over. It may go into underlining and change your text color to blue because it's showing that it's a link. In order to get rid of that, because you want to make sure that it's formatted correctly, highlight it, click the underline button twice to remove the underlining, and click the key to make sure this text is black. The last thing you need to do is select it and make the spacing double spacing. Alright, so I now have the beginning of my reference list. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I am going to name this document A. Thomas References. That is what you'll need to turn into Jenzabar. Okay. Alright, I'm going to save that. Alright, let's do that process one more time. Let's hit the back key. And let's find a source that we think is going to be good for our paper. This seems like it's good. Okay, so they are addressing opioid addiction in general. Let's look at the abstract and see what we think. Okay, so I'm noticing that the word programs here is spelled a little differently. Biomed Research International. But it is in English. And the other thing is there's a DOI here. I really like that. Okay, so let's click on View the Record here. Then we're going to click, okay, so can I find this article in full text? I look here, it says full text. I'm going to click the full text button. Alright, so there's the article. I see here I can get full text PDF. So let's see, we've got a couple of headings going on right here. Here's the abstract, here's the introduction to the paper, here's the methods that they used, here's treatments that they reviewed, there's a table. Okay, so, and then there's some references. So it seems as if this is going to be a good source for me. I'm going to click full text PDF. Alright, so you see here the PDF has downloaded. Alright, it's in the process. Alright, so I've got the PDF here. Alright, so this is a good source for me. I go back over here, come over here to the Cite key. Scroll down to APA. And I see here. Alright, so I'm going to copy that. And I paste that into here. I want to quickly click that clipboard. Alright, so now what this does is it has copied the fact that this is times and 12 point. The problem that I have here is that, first of all, it wasn't indented properly, so I'm going to remove that indentation. The second problem that I have is this is the writer's last name, so I've got to take this M and C because APA format is last name, comma, first initial. Okay, the rest of this seems to be fine, but I've got to fix this. So I need to come over here to this last name, which is Benitez, maybe. And I need to put comma, M period, C period. All right, and I'm going to delete this, the person's last name. Then this one, the person's last name is M. Esther. All right, so got to come over here to this last name, put a comma, put M and E there. I'm going to get rid of that. All right, so I've now got the last name, first initials, last name, first initials. I've got the year, which is out of order. No, got the year, which is correct. I've got the title of the paper, which is really long. Here is the journal article, journal title, which is in italics, which is correct. The volume number, though, the volume number should not be in parentheses, or should not be listed as VOL. So there's only one volume. This only comes out once a year. So I'm going to remove this there. Leave that period. All right, and then I've got a DOI. So now this is correct. All right, going to, there we go. All right, again, delete that space, hit the return key, tab over. Same thing here. And you notice that Word is very smart. It has learned how this needs to be. All right, so the other thing that I need to do here is that your reference list should be in alphabetical order based on the author's last name. So I've got to cut this and make sure that it is first on the page because B comes before S. And then I'm going to put an extra space in there. Notice that it did that to the DOI. Push the underlining button. Put this in black. All right. So for your reference list, you've got to have 10 references. So far, I've found 2. I'm going to do a save, and then I'm going to go back here to continue to find my 10 references. All right. That's how you do it.